SCIAF's inspiration comes from the Gospels and Scripture, from church teaching and from the people we serve, their lives and the things they talk to us about, the things that are important to them and the dreams they have. In our programs, we in SCIAF try to approach people in their entirety as the whole person, using a principle called integral human development, where rather than thinking of individual needs or things they want, we think of them as people as a whole. What are their dreams? What are their strengths? What are they capable of? And also, what do they need? And so we work with them to help them identify what it is they want and what is the best way to go about it. In all SCIAF's work overseas, we always work with partners, with local organisations, and so together with them we genuinely collaborate with the communities whom we serve and where we're working. Together we are creating the programs, together we are implementing them. It's certainly not any kind of subcontracting relationship, it's not one of subordination, but it is one of how we allow them to tell us what is the best thing to be done and how best to go about it, because they know the context so much better than we do. They know what people are capable of, they know what the realities are, they know what materials are available, they know what practices are normally used, and so they really have most of the know-how, and together with them we help them articulate and design the responses that we will then go on to fund. And so in all our work, as far as we possibly can, we're trying to transfer power or control, autonomy and agency to our partners and to the communities, and not to have that power rest with the one who has money. It is always the right thing to look at the problem and try and solve that. That's why we exist. SCIAF doesn't exist just to form fluffy relationships. Our role is, through the partners we already have very long-term relationships, to together look at the problems and try to analyse them and see what can be done and what will best solve and meet the needs of the communities we're serving, and how best to get the most out of the community, what they can contribute, what they know, what are the local practices. So it's always focused on a particular mission, on a particular problem or a particular solution we're trying to find. And the key really is in how we work together rather than instructing others what to do. So partnership is not a question of it's all about a relationship, very much introspective and looking within the relationship. It's about a relationship looking outwards and seeing the world and trying to read the signs of the times and respond to those and tackle the issues of the day. When I think about SCIAF's mission, two biblical passages really spring to mind, and the first is at the beginning of Christ's public life, when he comes back into the town from the 40 days in the wilderness, and he goes into the synagogue and takes the scroll of Isaiah and says, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me. I came to bring good news to the poor." And SCIAF exists to bring good news to the poor. And when I ask the question to myself, what does that mean? What is good news to the poor? How do we make that real and tangible? I think then when I look to the end of Christ's public life, and in the St. Matthew's Gospel, you have Christ who separates the sheep from the goats, and he says, "Come to me, because when I was hungry you gave me to eat, when I was thirsty you gave me to drink, I was homeless and you sheltered me, I was naked and you clothed me." And what you can see in that very simple example is Christ just taking the individual in front of them and saying what is it that they need in all the different aspects of their humanity, and not reducing them to a question of food or a question of drinking or a question of clothing or housing, but thinking about the person in the whole. And it is from that that the doctrine of integral human development has really grown up. How do we think about people? How do we encounter people in a way that really allows us to understand what they need as a whole, and what are those sets of abilities, dreams, hopes, and also needs that they have to bring to the mix? Because in the end, integral human development is about people growing to their full potential in all of their aspects.